Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Blind View here on Rumble. And here is your host, Miss Rebecca Meadows.
Well, hello there, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well this evening. As our faithful viewers will notice, we are doing the show early this week, and that's why it's very important that you are not only subscribed, but that you have your notifications turned on so your little like reminder thing will go off each time we go live. So you won't miss a single episode of The Blind View. I am your host, Rebecca S. Meadows, and my co hosts, Anya and Paul, are joining me. How are you guys?
Doing well. Having uh, pretty good Wednesday, I should say. So yeah, I hope everyone is having a good day as well.
Afternoon, everyone. Doing okay. The weather here in Northern California, at least where I am, is very cold and kind of gloomy outside, but that doesn't mean that the podcast has to be that way.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day that goes by, I keep hoping that there'll be some break in the search for Nancy Guthrie that we'll be able to announce on the show. But here, another week has gone by, no major breaks in the case. Yesterday, they were about a glove that they found. I think it was 3/4 of a mile from Nancy Guthrie's home, and they thought it might be involved in disappearance somehow. But now they're saying that after testing the glove, they've determined that it was never inside the house.
Mm.
So that's a dead end. But
I think she's
Maybe-
dead. I think she's dead somewhere. And yeah.
uh,
I mean,
You
when
may-
something happens to anybody, it's a bad thing. But you know what? As much attention as this story got, I don't. It might sound mean, but I don't even feel like it should be getting this much attention. I mean, she's the mother of some freaking, I don't know, what's her, Savannah Guthrie, this crazy liberal ass who had nothing good to say ever about conservatives or Trump. Yeah, I mean, it's not her mom's fault. What happened to her? And like I said, again, it's a bad thing, whatever happened to her. But again, we can't be talking about her like every freaking day.
well, we only do the show once a week, not every freaking day.
No, I'm not talking about you talking about it. I'm talking about TV. Like, every time you open news, it's something about her and newspapers and blah, 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 all about Nancy.
Well, I personally like it's close to home for Brandon and me because we both live right here in Phoenix,
Hmm.
and so I think it's a little bit closer to me and Brandon, so our minds. And another thing is this lady's like 83, 84 years old. She's so elderly. Like, how can it not touch everybody's heart when they hear about her missing and how terribly she was taken from her home? You know what I mean? To me, it's just humanity to care about this lady. No matter who her daughter is, even if her daughter is some crazy liberal talk show host on some like liberal TV network. So
Yeah, nobody says not to care. Nobody says not to care, but not to care every minute of the day. We didn't care much when Irina Zarutskaya was killed on a train by some psychopath who was released from prison. And there are tons of examples to be mentioned who was killed or missing or kidnapped or whatever. I mean, why her? This super old lady. Yeah, it's bad. I feel bad for her and for her family, whatever. But I'm not going to spend my energy and my time more than I needed to worry about her. There's other people who deserve attention too. And they don't get it.
yes, you're right, Anya. And unfortunately, that's the way the media cycle works in the United States. Some things get pushed, some stories get pushed to the forefront and everybody hears about them. And some stories get buried and some stories never get even mentioned. Um, but
If people wasn't watching, they wouldn't continue to air it, and so
yeah,
obviously people are either very concerned or they're glued to the TV or they're glued to their phones or whatever about it, and so they keep pushing this. I mean, we can look back at 2014 about the Malaysian flight that went down, and nobody knows where it went to this day or what happened.
Okay.
And that story was going on for weeks, and they had no news for weeks, but they kept bringing people in by telling people, "Oh, we found something, and people kept
Yeah.
watching, and
Yeah, keep up the suspense. Yeah, exactly.
so. Um,
Well, Paul, did you want to dive into the rest of your topic that we did not have time to
Yeah.
finish last time?
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, so last week we kind of finished and had an interesting discussion about healthy foods and that kind of thing as the podcast was wrapping up. But I kind of wanted to get everyone's experience of dining as a blind or visually impaired person. I know for us that is a little different than people that can see, and I don't know if anyone say went out for Valentine's Day this this last Saturday. But if you did, it kind of ties into dining a little bit. Don't know. I would imagine that if you did, though, you went out with a significant other, or with someone. So yeah, would love to just kind of know what y'all's experiences have been dining as a visually impaired person. I think it's just kind of interesting the differences that we have to kind of contend with, if you will, versus what maybe people that aren't blind kind of have to deal with. I used to go out by myself quite a bit back in the day, and occasionally I still do. And most people have been pretty. The waitresses and waiters have generally been pretty friendly towards me. There hasn't really been a time where I felt like I was being mistreated by any means. There have been times where I would say the most nervous that I would normally get is when I go to the restaurant, say by myself, and I'm trying to find the hostess or maybe the line getting into the establishment. That's kind of the most nervous that I will get. So, admittedly, I will probably go when it's not rush hour, or lunch, or the middle of lunch or supper. But most people have been pretty friendly. There have been instances a few weeks ago. It was kind of funny when we went to Olive Garden for a friend's birthday, and the waitress was sprinkling Parmesan cheese on people's pastas, and there was a whole bunch of us blind people there, and she was saying, "All right, well, I'm going to pour this on your pasta. Just tell me when to stop." I
Oh,
think she forgot that we couldn't see it.
what did you say?
I laughed. I didn't say anything. There was a time when I went out with some friends who could see. This is kind of a funny story. I went out with some friends who could see. This was about a year and a half ago or something, and we was at a steak restaurant, and I said, I think I'm interested in the ribeye. How big is that ribeye, would you say? And I guess the girl started doing a motion with her hands and putting her hands out to show me what size it was. And so obviously I missed that. But my friend started laughing, and I said, "What's so?" I whispered to one of my friends. I said, "What's so funny?" He goes, "I'll tell you later." And so she leaves, takes all of her orders, she leaves, and then he goes, "Yeah, Paul. The waitress was trying to tell you how big the steak was by using her hands, and then she had an aha moment, realized you couldn't see him. Her face turned bright red." I said, poor thing. My friend goes, "Yeah, I think she felt pretty bad about it." I was like, no big deal.
Well, Paul, just FYI, usually on the menu it says 6-inch, 12-inch, I don't know, 18-inch.
Well,
5-inch.
usually it does. Yes, it usually does, but I don't know if it specified it, because usually I would go by, okay, 6 ounce, 12 ounce, 18.
That's
I don't know if it's specified, which is, I would imagine that's why I asked, because I'm not going to just ask to be annoying. I try to be annoying in other ways, but that's not one of them.
Well, I just imagined about that pasta thing that if she did not realize and kept shaking, and like, why the hell they're not saying me tell me to
Right.
stop? You want the whole jar?
That's kind of what was making me laugh was, they're not going to know when enough is enough.
Well, Well, but you mentioned, but I just thought of something that I realized that I don't believe I ever went eating out by myself, unless it was a pickup, like the food to go. I would come like Subway or something, so something to take with me. But actually, sit down restaurant, I don't think I've ever in my life done it.
Have you done it before,
really?
Becca?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that, like, it's been my experience. Like, if you go to like a Denny's or an IHOP, or there was a place called Finnegan's I used to go to a lot in Missoula before I ever met my husband. The places where you sit down and you order, and they come to your table and take your order. What really frustrates me about those places is they overload you with shit, and your table setting is so cluttered with stuff. For example, you have your plate, you've got your silverware, you've got your drinking glass, you've got a coffee cup, you've got a saucer, you've got, oh, sometimes they put a carafe of coffee on the table. You know what I mean? Like, and it's always driven me crazy because I rarely use the coffee cup, and I don't drink tap water in a restaurant, so I don't touch the water either. And I always wind up ordering a soda. So then I've got a soda there too, on top of all the other crap they put in front of me that I don't even use. You know what I mean?
Well, you could tell them no coffee. I mean, you could say I don't want any coffee.
What I usually do when I go to one of those restaurants, I sit there taking stuff like out of my place setting and setting it to the side, and then I tell the waitress to remove it
Yeah.
when she comes.
Yeah, that's probably in those circumstances. I'd probably do the same thing. Like, hey, I don't, appreciate the water, but I don't really need it. I don't really need it.
Yeah.
Do you guys prefer Braille menu, like when a restaurant has a Braille menu?
I always drive my friends nuts because I'll look at the Braille menu and I'll ask the waiter or waitress, "Hey, if the prices are lower in the Braille menu, can I pay those prices?" And every single time they say no. It's very rude.
Well, trust me, your dinner's gonna cost you way more if every time the inflation hit and the prices change and they had to reimburse this.
No, I know. Look, I excuse me. I used to do the whole Braille menu thing, and sometimes they are handy, but nowadays menus are on websites these days, and so I really don't know how crucial a Braille menu is.
You're right. I actually thought the same thing. I mean,
because you can just go online and
set-
find them what you want.
right, and I think online you will find it more updated than the
Mhm.
Braille.
Yes.
That is correct, because I went to McDonald's one time and they said they hadn't updated their Braille menu since like 1997, and here it was 2010 or 2011. I was like, wow, can I pay the extremely low price? And they said no once again. So these people not being very accommodating towards me, I tell you what.
That's false advertising if they advertise one price in the Braille menu, but they're forced to pay a different price.
Well,
I
sometimes
agree
they
with
tell
you.
you up front. It has happened to me when the waiter brings the menu and says, "Okay, so these are Braille menus, but you might want to ask about the prices because they may not reflect the
Correct
reality."
prices, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some people say that. So yeah, that's happened. But that's interesting to me, Anya, that you've never gone out by yourself. I guess you've always kind of gone with friends or your husband.
Yeah, and then it's not because like I don't know how. I mean, I could totally pull it off. I just don't. I don't know. I find it weird, like going to a
It's okay.
restaurant.
My sister's the same way.
Yeah, for me, going out, it means usually going with someone, sharing a meal with someone, talking with someone. But to eat by myself, I can do that at home.
Well,
So,
I mean, I get no. Well, my sister. I called my sister one time and I said I went to lunch, and she said, "Oh, who'd you go with?" I said, myself." She goes, "You went eating by yourself? That's weird." I go, "Nobody wanted to go with me, so what do you want me to do?" She goes, "Who eats by themselves?" I said, "I do, I guess."
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, maybe people should just maybe people should start reaching out to people and saying, "Hey, can I have lunch with you?" Right? Because maybe everybody needs someone to have lunch with, and not everybody has somebody. right?
Yeah, but people often sit in restaurants and just scroll their phones and they don't give a damn about anybody else around them.
There is that.
Yeah. But again, for me, like I can do all that at home and in silence. I don't need to have a crowd around me to do all that. So,
Sure.
I mean, for sighted folk, I know that I heard from other people, they just like to sit and stare. Like my husband is a good example of it. You know, he likes it when we're at a convention or something and we go to a bar to meet someone. Like, usually like in a big convention, or not even any place we go to a bar. I'm not a huge fan of going to bars at all. I hate
Ooh,
bars.
yeah, me either. Ooh.
Yeah, but for him, it's fun just to sit and watch people. What how people interact, what they do, what goofy shit they do, and how they behave themselves, and what happens, what comical situations occur. We blind folks are sitting there just listening to the noise, and it's just boring as hell to me.
Well, if someone's loud enough, you could. Not saying you should, but you could eavesdrop on the conversation, and the conversation might be hilarious. I mean,
Yeah, but bar is not the place you want to eavesdrop because the noise is coming from everywhere. So it's really you can pick out a few phrases, but you I don't know. It's just not.
No,
that
I
fun.
understand it. I don't care for that setting myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really boring.
But speaking of that, when you go to a bar, you want to look nice. And so, Anya, I believe you have a topic you wanted to kind of discuss.
Well, not everybody wants to look nice in a bar. Yeah, so I just want to talk to you guys. What you like? Everybody wears clothes. Everybody wears shoes, has accessories, and I think you can think about what you guys do and how you pick your clothes, and we can come back after this little break.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Hi, it's me, your favorite author, Rebecca S. Meadows, here with another message. You can go up to Amazon and search Rebecca Meadows author to get your hands on each of my books. And each book is available in Kindle, digital download, Amazon print on demand, or on Audible. So enjoy, and please send me an email at beccameadows76@gmail.com and let me know what you thought of my book, okay? Oh, and please go up and write a review for me too. Thank you. Peace out.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, so I was kind of starting this topic. I don't know. It's a good. Unfortunately, we don't have Brandon, so we can have two and two, 2 men, 2 women. But I think Paul can speak for both.
As the manliest blind person here in the group.
Yes, exactly. So,
which isn't saying much.
I mean, what matters to you guys in your looks? Like, I mean, I can start talking, or you guys want to say what you have to say first?
Hey, guys, can I ask you guys a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, Anya seemed to identify so easily that Paul's a guy. Do you think blind people are better at identifying genders than sighted people? Because a lot of the sighted world seems to be confused these days about genders.
Well, because they're confused in their head, they're brainwashed. Otherwise, there's not a question. I never had a second thought whether Paul was a guy or not just by the name.
Right.
Well, if you'd like, I could do my girl imitation. If you'd like me to do that, I could do that. But I don't know if you want to hear that or not. Maybe that'll be backstage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a strong believer. I don't care what people have to say. I am a truth defender, the truth defender, and I'm strong believer. I'm ready to tear somebody apart who does not believe in that. Like, there's only 2 genders, men and women. The rest is all made up, deviation, psychological warfare, whatever you want to call it. So we have 2 gender, men and women. Period. I want to hear no further questioning that. Thank you, Gina.
Well, do we want to?
I think we should make allowances for one more category, for a third category: male, female, and confused.
There you go.
There has to be a category for the other people who don't know if they're a man or a woman or what.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think it's ridiculous to play along with somebody's delusion. So, but we can talk about this I can talk about this all day. I just wanted to
Yeah.
bring you guys back to this. So, Paul, you want to talk about your clothing style and who helps you pick out your outfits, and how do you know this is the right style for you? It looks good on you, stuff like that.
So many people, well, not many, but some people have told me over the years that I could afford to dress better than I do. I will
Mhm.
admit that. I don't dress
What do
super
you wear?
fancy at all. Well, I mean, the pants I wear are either jeans or I don't know what you'd call them. I wouldn't say I wear slacks, but they're not exactly jeans or slacks. They're kind of an in between. They're either black or gray usually. And then the shirts that I wear, generally speaking, have things I'm interested in. So, like right now, I'm wearing a Sierra Hull shirt. She's a wonderful mandolin player, and she didn't pay me to say that. Don't worry. But if you'd like to check her stuff out, you can check her out on Spotify, Qobuz, Apple Music, anything else. If she'd like to pay me though for promoting her, that'd be great. But like right now, I'm wearing a Sierra Hull shirt, and that's because I'm a huge fan of hers. Or it might be tomorrow I wear a Atlanta Braves shirt. Of course, I'm a Braves fan. I know. Go ahead, play the boo sound effect. It's all right. I won't be upset. Okay, all right. Typical Dodgers fan. But now, when it comes down to, hang on a second. Quick question for the producer. Are you actually a Dodgers fan, Gino? Oh, that's a yes.
That is yes.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, that's upsetting. I think I have to leave early.
Wow, Gino can talk to us through the sound effects. Sounds like.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can't. No wonder the boo came so
Yeah.
fast. That's upsetting.
He expresses himself similar to the way those non-speaking clowns used to. You know what I mean? The non-speaking clowns. What am I trying to think of? What are they called?
I
They
just called you non-speaking clown, Gino.
they use like their squeakers and stuff to
Yeah.
express their emotions.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to like house clothes and going out clothes, yeah, I'll wear something I'm interested for shirts. I'll usually wear like black, gray pants. Now, if I'm going to an important thing like something that I need to dress up for, say something's really sad, such as maybe a funeral. Unfortunately, I had to just go to one of those. That was really sad. I will try to dress nicer. I will wear, a button-down black shirt, black socks, black pants, black shoes, that kind of thing. Now, if I'm going to something equally as sad, like maybe a wedding, happy, I might wear a similar outfit. So I do have people look when I'm wearing those kinds of outfits just to make sure everything matches. I know we have Be My Eyes, which I'm not trying to segue or anything like that into Becca, maybe your discussion, but I know we have Be My Eyes and that kind of thing. But a human eye is I think still kind of important, because a human eye can say, hey, those pants not making you look so hot.
Can I stop you for a second and ask a question?
Sure.
So you said you were asking a human to tell you not Be My Eyes, but somebody around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, how did you come to trust those people and their taste? Because I'll explain. Like there are people who I know that, like, for the life of me, I would not care, no matter how well they see. I know how they dress from what I heard from others or whatever. Like I would never ask for their opinion.
I mean, that's kind of a good question. I think, like in my case, some of the people that I know are a little older than I am, and some of them have kids. And as I've said in the podcast, I don't have any that I'm aware of at this time. So, those people, being that they have kids and they've raised kids, not that I'm a kid, I do kind of trust. Okay, well, I'm assuming you're going to tell me if I look good in that or if I don't look good in that. And if I don't, tell me that as well. What are you trying to say there? I'm confused.
You can leave it up to the end of the show. I guess Gino will tell you it all. Well,
Okay.
that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean it's good to have somebody around who can tell you, and if you have clothes for all the occasions. What about you, Beck?
As far as fashion, I've always been a fashion nightmare. I wanted to share my Be My Eye story with you guys, though. I've only been I've only been aware of all these apps since like 2015. And I've said on previous episodes that I have all these apps on my phone, but I rarely use them. Well, this morning I used Be My Eyes and it worked out really great. I went to the VA with Tim this morning and he was going in for a doctor's appointment. And I said, well, I'm just going to wait in the car here and listen to my audiobook until you get back, honey. And he's like, yeah, are you sure? I was like, yeah, no problem. And I was thinking, yeah, my bladder's kind of touchy right now, but I think I can make it, right? And about 30 minutes later, I'm thinking, ooh, maybe I can't, right? And so I had to figure out how I was going to get from the car inside to where the bathroom was, because I was somewhere in the parking garage at the VA, right?
Oh,
And
at 7:12 a.m. and sunset is at 6:15
Alexa,
p.m.
stop. And what I used to do in these situations before I found out about all these cool apps, and honestly, what I still usually do, because like I said on previous episodes, I don't usually use these apps, but what I would usually do in the situations, I would get out of the car and I would listen and I would use my limited vision and I'd try to find my way, right, using my ears and my eyes. And now that my vision's been getting better since I've been doing the stem cell therapy, I've been trying to remember, like in these situations when Tim gets out of the car, I've been trying to remember to watch and see which direction he walks away from the car, so I know like which way I need to go if I need to go in, right? Well, of course, I didn't think about doing that today. So what I wound up doing was I got out of the car and I opened up Be My Eyes on my phone. And honestly, I think it was because I was in the parking garage. I had really shitty reception and I got disconnected like the first 2 or 3 people that I connected with on Be My Eyes. But then finally I got a woman on there and the connection was really good. And so I told her like that I was in this parking garage. I needed to find my way in, yada, 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 right? And so I used my phone and she was able to help me find my way to the elevator. And then from there towards like walking into the building. And then I met this guy that worked there, right? He's like, hey, do you need help? And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get up to S3 or 3 South where my fiance is having his doctor's appointment. And so this guy, and he's like, oh, I work here. My name's Brian. So he helped me, right? And while we were going, he says to me, he starts talking about the low vision clinic there at the eye clinic there at the VA. And he mentions Tom Hicks. And I was like, I know Tom Hicks. And then I realized why he brought Tom Hicks and the eye clinic up, because I had my cane. And I realized he was assuming I was a vet who was familiar with the eye clinic. And so I told him, I was like, oh, I'm not a veteran. I only know Tom Hicks because I've been here supporting my friend TP, who's a vet, right? But this is like the second time in the last week that I've gone to the VA with Tim and I've met somebody there and they just assume I'm a veteran because I've got my cane, you know? So it looks like I've been injured. I mean, I was injured, but my injury happened when I was a child, not in a war, right? But, and because I'm with Tim, you know, they just assume we're like, I'm a veteran too. And I'm with Tim because we love each other, you know what I mean? But
that's not exactly unreasonable assumption on their part, I'd say, especially if you weren't right next to him at that time. So you just at that place.
I know. I'm so honored when I go to the VA. They treat me like any of the rest of them. They don't treat me like I'm a hassle because I'm blind or shit like that, right? They treat me like someone who's in need of care, just like the rest of them. So I think it's great.
Well, that is good because I have certainly heard some horror stories about people going into VAs. Not necessarily those that are blind or visually impaired, but I guess I wouldn't say horror stories, but I've heard some of them. The care is not wonderful. So
So
I have unfortunately heard those.
as I said on previous episodes, I've been to the VA many times with my friend TP, who is a blind veteran. This time I've been going to the VA with my boyfriend, who is not a blinded veteran, but he's a veteran who has been seriously injured. Like his right knee keeps collapsing on him. It has been since last June, multiple times every day. And so we're going to the VA to try to get help with his knee and getting the runaround, and they're not doing anything. It's like, I don't know, I feel like everybody thinks that somebody else will take care of his knee, and so they're all just pushing it off on other people. Meanwhile, he's in terrible pain and he can't work or anything because of his knee. And but I saw the VA bend over backwards for multiple of my blind veteran friends that I knew when I was heavily involved a few years ago. You know what I mean? And so I just really feel like the VA does a lot for the blind vets, but I think they need to do more for their other vets too.
I think a lot of it depends on where you live, what state you're in, and which one you're at. Because some of them I've heard are great, and then some of them I've heard are not so great. So it really does.
Okay, so in this case, it doesn't depend on that at all because both situations happened at the same VA facilities right here in Phoenix.
No, but what I mean is you could go to, say, one in Tucson, and it might be different.
Yeah.
Like Tim might get better care there, or one
worse.
say, in Mesa or whatever. I don't know where all of them are located, but he might get better care there than, say, the one in Phoenix. And I said might. I don't know the answer if that's true.
He might get better care at a different VA, but I'll tell you one thing that I think it is. I think there's a good chance that the VA really does try to do more for their blinded vets than the other vets, because blindness has always been like the worst disability people can think of, right? And so I think the VA may be more willing to throw resources at the blind veterans than the other veterans. That's kind of what I think is going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't. That's interesting is all I can say. I don't know if that's true or not true, but I think that's very interesting what you're saying. I've never really thought about it that way. So
yeah, I don't have any information whatsoever. I don't interact with any vets. I don't know.
The VA also has in Tucson, they have a whole facility specifically for blind veterans. It's the Blind Veterans Rehab Center in Tucson, and they don't have maybe they do somewhere have a rehab center for veterans who are recovering from broken legs and all of that too, I'm assuming, but I don't know, I think they expect veterans to do that kind of recovering in a regular hospital. But when it comes to blindness, they have, like I said, they have a whole facility specifically for blind veterans, and to help them get back on their feet after their injuries. So.
Well, I'm glad that Be My Eyes worked for you this morning. I mean, those are that is what those apps are for. I will tell you, one time I was with a friend of mine and we was walking and we got a little lost, and we was using Ira at the time, and Ira kind of helped us, and then a passerby kind of helped us, and then we found our way. So we're waiting to cross the street, and I kid you not, some lady leans out the window and tells the guy that was helping him, "Hey, tell them to get Be My Eyes. I'm a volunteer on it," and then drove away. I was like, what?
Wow.
I can't make this stuff up. I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh my. Tell them like you weren't even there.
Yeah, it was funny.
Hey, Beck, you guys, do you mind if I share something funny that happened to me and Becca?
Sure, Gino, go ahead.
Because remember back, and the reason I brought this up is when you were talking about how when you first tried to use Be My Eyes, but you were in the parking lot and it was too dark.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember when we were doing blind immersion training at Savvy and you and I were in the parking garage yelling across from each other?
And we couldn't.
And Becca, I had a sleep shade on, and Becca's like, Gina, where are you? And I'm like, I'm over here. She's like, where? I said, over here.
It was echoing in there. I couldn't tell where he was coming from.
I didn't know where I was because I had a sleep shade on. And she's telling me to take the sleep shade off and, to cheat and find out where I am. I said, no, I'm taking this seriously. You want me to direct a TV show about blind people? I'm taking this seriously.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to describe, okay, I found a wall. I don't know which wall this is, though.
But you guys figured it out eventually on your own, I assume?
Yeah. We kind of figured out what wall led to the elevator, but it was quite funny because, at one point, I think we both were kind of walking and it's dark in there. And I was like, oh, no, I can hear traffic. I must be ending up on the sidewalk out near the street.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gina, where are you? I don't know.
I'll tell you the worst place is when you go to a pool and you got to go to the locker rooms to shower, what have you.
Oh.
Those areas are so hard because, to Becca's point earlier, yeah, those places echo like crazy and you cannot hear anything. I mean, you can hear it, but you cannot tell where anything's coming from.
Yeah, I know. It's so disoriented. And if there are more people talking around you, it gets even worse. Like when voices come from different directions.
Mhm.
Or you start talking to someone who you think is your friend and turns out that, they're not. And they just start talking to you randomly.
Maybe that.
And you're like, hey, what you got to eat? And they're like, I got a Slim Jim. You want one? And I'm like, sure. And I go, oh, thanks, man. And then I realized, that wasn't my friend Derek. Oops, I got a free Slim Jim. I can't make these stories up. These things actually happen.
I read a similar comment on Facebook. I read from somebody who was talking to. She was very low vision, and she went somewhere with her friend. It was kind of a crowded place or something, and she went. They got separated a little bit, and she saw her friend. She thought she saw her friend eating eating chips or something, and she comes up to her like, "Oh, hi, I'm back. Like, can I have some?" And the person's like, "Yeah, sure." So she reaches in the bag, grabs a handful of chips, and then starts eating. And then it's like later she realizes it's not her friend, so she randomly walked up to the person and asked if she could have some chips. Oh my gosh.
Well, that isn't as bad as me in the story that I told last week on the podcast with the beach and the sand. If those of you who remember that story, if you haven't heard it, go back and listen. Go back and listen to that story because that one, I think that one takes the cake.
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing, I gotta say. Yeah, well, that's why like lots of people are starting to use these Meta glasses. Everybody talks about them now. I don't know. A couple of my friends got Meta glasses. I'm still kind of in a consideration. Do you have? I know, Becca, you don't, but do you have Meta glasses, like smart glasses?
I don't have them yet, but I believe I'm fixing to get them soon. I do see where they could be helpful, so I am going to try them out.
Yeah, we have covered this topic on a podcast, but I still, I don't know. I wish there was a way with these glasses to make an input that is not audible. Like, I'll give you guys an example. Like, let's say you're in a doctor's office. So let's say you're finished with your appointment. You come back to the lobby. There's a front desk. There's other people waiting in line. You know, it's kind of quiet. You guys know, like in those offices, it's not usually not very loud, right? And then you take your glasses and then you say, "Where's the door?" Like, where do I go? Like, I don't want to say it out loud when where's the bathroom? I want to be able to, if I'm looking for something, you know, if I'm using these glasses, I want to type that.
Can you not text a prompt in? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's a fine question. Go ahead, Becca.
I'm sorry. I still haven't even looked into these Meta glasses. I assumed they were glasses that you put on And then there's artificial intelligence that tells you what you're looking at when you turn your head and walk around and stuff. But are you saying that they're different than that? You can actually talk to the glasses?
You can do both. It's the same thing.
Oh, wow.
You can do both, but my problem is, at least the way I understand it right now, is that you cannot really there's no way of you not to talk to it. Like, let's say, okay, but maybe doctor's office was not the best example. Let's say you are in a restaurant and you want to sit, or on a pool, and you want to find out if somebody's sitting across from you. And like, what do you say? Hey, Meta, is anybody across from me? What do they look like? Are they hot? I mean, come on, you can't.
What? I'm not supposed to use the Meta glasses and go to a bar and go, Meta, who's the prettiest girl here? I'm not supposed to do that with them?
Well, I don't think. No, I guess.
Thanks for letting me know that. Way to ruin on my parade.
I guess you could, but I think you're gonna ward them off right away by the virtue of asking. So make sure you ask it. That's what I'm talking about.
And that kind of question, like, beauty's in the eye of the beholders. When you say to the glasses, who's the most beautiful girl here? Do you mean the one with the most beautiful eyes, or the most beautiful chest, or the most beautiful hair, or the longest legs?
That's private.
You see what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. So how are the glasses supposed to know what you mean?
Thank you, Gino.
Most beautiful.
Thank you, Gino. I appreciate that.
That kind of circles back to my topic that we kind of touched upon a bit about clothes and style and all that. Yeah. AI cannot give you a real opinion, like the opinion, because we have to rely. Yes, we have to rely on other people's opinion to form our own, so to speak. And my friend was conducting an experiment. She put a dress on herself and she took a picture and uploaded it to AI. And she said, I think this dress looks really great on me. I think it makes me so sexy. What do you think? So, and it comes back and starts, oh, yes, this dress looks good. It accentuates this and that. And this color looks great with your eyes, blah, blah, blah. All these things. So then she closes that chat and reopens it, the new branch. And she uploads the same picture. She says, hey, look, I think this dress makes me a little look overweight. I don't think this color suits me too nicely. What do you think? And then it comes back and validates you, like, yeah, you might need to do this, or maybe a little bit of, I don't know, like necklace would make it better, or maybe a little bit lighter color would look nicer on you. How the hell are you supposed to trust this?
Because it validates you no matter what you say.
I'm going to say one thing. And I stand by this 100%. When it comes to asking someone if they look nice, or asking, you said, I think, Becca, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. This is one thing that I'll say is I have asked friends of mine, both male and female, about how maybe certain people look or what have you, or maybe how I look, depends on the day. My guy friends, they'll go, oh, well, he looks nice, or oh, she looks nice. Her hair's kind of a bad hair day to day, but yeah, she looks nice. Now, women are the best people to ask how someone looks, because they'll give it to you straight, and they'll go into every sort of minute detail possible. They'll say, wow, her hair. They won't say, oh, she's having a bad hair day. No, they'll say, oh man, her hair, she needs to fix that immediately. And or they'll say, what is wrong with her teeth? She needs to brush them like tomorrow. They will go into it, and it's great. It's great because as a person who can't see, I want to know all those minute details. And from my experience, guys do not give them as much. But when it comes to a woman, I generally speaking will ask a woman what, how I look or what someone else looks like, because they ain't gonna hold back at all, ever. Never had it happen.
I have one more interesting comment to make after we come back from the break. I'm gonna to your point, Paul.
Sure.
Hey everybody, are you enjoying the show? Are you enjoying the books? Are you enjoying everything we're doing here at Blue Butterfly Enterprises? If so, go up to bluebutterflyenterprises.com and check out our store and buy some of our memorabilia. Wouldn't it be cool to have a Becca's World hat or t-shirt or coffee mug or a bumper sticker for your car? I'm going to get one for my car when I get a car. that I can drive.
And we're back.
Okay, great.
Anya, go ahead, I guess.
Is Anya with us? Has anybody seen Anya?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yay!
We're back. I was going to say I haven't, but go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, as last time we talked, I think it was Brandon's topic. We talked about self-help tools and books and whatever. And yeah, so I read a lot of those books. And then in one of the books by one of my favorite authors, he writes in Russian. That's why I won't share his name. I don't think his works have been translated. Anyway, so and he was talking about, like, how to boost your self-esteem, about looks, about different things. And he made a very interesting point. There was a big survey, apparently. Don't know what year. Don't know how many men and women it has surveyed. But basically, but there was a study, even some sort. I don't know. I'm not going to go to that detail. But the point is that if you go shopping and if you want to pick the best outfit, you should go with a person of the opposite sex. So, in other words, Paul, if you want to make sure you look great in your suit, you probably have better luck if you go with the woman who you trust.
Ooh, we kind of lost you, but I understand what you. Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. Better now.
Yeah. So if you go to if you want to make sure you look good in a suit, yes, there are men who can tell you that too, but they say the best feedback you get from women and vice versa. Because we naturally evaluate each other, like men, women, and women, men. We kind of subconsciously evaluate how we look, how we appeal to each other. Yeah, and that's why even if it's just your friend and no chemistry, nothing like that, you still go and they would still give you a good look. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Gino has something to say about it too. And I don't know.
Becca, go ahead. I think you wanted to say something.
I thought.
Oh no, I was just reading.
I mean, do you want the cited perspective on it?
No, I thought you were trying to say something, but yeah, go ahead, of course.
Well, my wife says I dress like a homeless person and I don't shave enough. So I would agree that women are far more judgmental. I think given a choice, and Becca and I both have sons, so I think Becca can attest to this. Given the choice, I think men would just sit around in their underwear and a t-shirt all day and not really care. And, just like, we don't care. And then all of a sudden you have to go out somewhere and it's like, okay, well, what are you wearing? Well, what are you wearing? And it's like, women, I do like how women say, oh, I'm just, wearing something casual. And then they've got the heels on and they've got the dress and they've got, and I'm like, I'm wearing jeans. And it's like, wait, is this, you're getting all dressed up. I thought we were just going, to get some, get something at the local restaurant, right?
Yeah, that we were just going to Olive Garden.
I guess I got to put on a button-down shirt now. Otherwise, you feel like awkward with the person you're with, where they're dressed up a lot more than you. So.
Right, but if you go out to buy something for yourself, if you know that you need to look presentable, like for an interview, for a performance, what have you, would you pick a man or a woman to go to help you make that choice?
Well, given the option, if there's a gay man around, I will.
No, just a straight normal man and a woman. Who would you trust?
I think I would pick a gay man over a woman because they wouldn't be as cruel.
Hierarchy. Yeah, I would think the hierarchy, if you can find it at a retail shop that you're shopping for, I would say, gay men are on point with both men and women's fashion.
Yeah.
And then
but between the two though.
Yeah, the gay man versus a woman.
No, normal, like straight man and a woman. Who would you go?
Oh, straight to straight? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, if it's a straight man, I'm gonna assume he's like me and doesn't know what the fuck, He's like, yeah, those flip flops and those shorts look good.
Right. So that's my point. That you'll choose a woman probably subconsciously, and I would choose a man. I would get better feedback from men, not just because my husband makes great choices, but not to say that women have never helped me greatly. They have.
That I disagree with. I think even women should trust other women before they trust a man.
I kind of
No.
I kind of agree with that because I think a girl, Anya, I mean, and maybe I'm wrong, but a girl is gonna really tell you, look, Anya, a guy might go, look, those pants are fine. Then a girl's gonna go, Anya, I hate to say this, but well, they might not even use I hate to say this. They're gonna say, those pants make your butt look big. Okay, we're not having those. We're getting a new pair immediately. I don't think a guy's
You
gonna
don't
do
know
that as
women.
much.
You don't know women. Maybe
What
they're
do
like
you mean?
there's
I don't
exceptions,
know.
but women have natural competition with each other.
That's the
You
point.
think women, when they dress up, they don't always dress up for men. They subconsciously they dress up for each other to outdo each other.
Yes. Anya is right about that.
See, so to trust a woman with an honest opinion, okay, no, change this so you can start looking better than me. Oh no.
Wait a second. Yeah, but if you're and it's your friend, and she's not going with you, maybe she's not going with you. You just take Susan with you to go shopping. Well, Susan's not gonna go with you, so there's no reason for her to compete with you.
Well, no, but it goes way deeper on subconscious level, even. Because women, they say men are hunters, yes, but women compete for being chosen. I mean, maybe not in every little literal case like you may be thinking of right now, but in a very deep subconscious. That's something I read about. I was like, wow, that's kind of fascinating.
I mean, I do understand what you're saying, but if the woman really values you, really loves you, I mean, I don't want to sound all weird about it, but if a woman really values you and loves you, doesn't she want you to look good for whatever the important event is?
Well, like I said, I didn't have. I'm not saying I never had good luck with women. Of course, there are great women with great taste, but I'm talking like in more generic terms, in more general terms. Like if you have a choice, who could make a better choice in general for you?
I don't know.
And now we're back to the gay man.
I mean, I've never thought about it like Becca and Gino mentioned the gay man, but if that's an option, if that's option 3 on the table, it might be something interesting. But anyway, this conversation has gotten very interesting, I have to say.
Didn't they have a show, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy? And that was part of the show?
I've never seen
Like
that.
gay
show.
men giving straight men makeovers?
Yeah, that's why I
That's an interesting sounding show.
Yeah, see, that's why you say gay man. Yeah, because gay man looks at the straight man as a potential partner because he is interested in men. Same goes for women. Women would make a good good advisor for that kind of thing because they look at a man as a potential partner subconsciously.
Yeah,
But gay men are not looking at women as the competition.
Correct. And they're still going to give, say Becca goes with a gay man, they're going to give Becca amazing advice. Versus if I go with Becca.
Wouldn't gay men look at a woman as competition?
No, because they're gay.
Yeah, but we're both competing for the penis, though. we're both competing for the big dick.
Exactly.
So I think in reality, gay men do view women as competition.
Good
I have
point,
to say
right?
that was not expected.
Well,
Which is a very valid point. What do you have to say to that, Paul?
I have nothing to say. I'd like to really move along is what I'd like to do.
Well, that's interesting.
I guess we've talked about this clothing thing for quite a minute, I reckon. Don't know if we solved anything, if we really answered your question, Anya, but
Well, I didn't really have a question. I just wanted your guys' input, like what strategies you use and how do you shop.
so you have your husband, excuse me, you have your husband, because you mentioned he gives great advice and has great taste. So you have your husband help you with that, I'm assuming?
Yes, he
Mhm.
does. And then I know he does have great taste because I have received
Even
it.
when you show up wearing pajamas?
I don't. My God, I don't show wearing. Am I wearing a pajama, Gino, right now? Is that a pajama? I Scott? What?
Yeah, what is he referring to?
Looks like a pajama to me.
What's that?
It looks like a pajamas to me.
Oh, to you. I see. No.
Uh-huh.
See, Gino can't answer because I'm wearing a dress right now. One time I showed up in a house dress, which to some may have looked like a nightgown. And that's why he keeps giving me shit for weeks now. That I yeah, weeks on end. Well, anyway, yeah. So my husband does because I get a lot of compliments on shoes and clothes that he picks,
Hmm.
and he has very good eye for colors. So when we decorate our house, like painting walls, buying furniture, buying curtains, like I trust him almost 100% because he does a very good job of it.
You
That
said
is not
almost 100%. Does that mean there's like 96% trust and 4% distrust?
well, you can't be 100%. You
All
can
the
be
time?
yeah, you can be right 100%. He has fucked
mean-
up before, trust me.
Wow. So when it comes to his clothing, does anyone? I mean, not that he necessarily needs it, but is there anyone to tell him, "Hey, Robert, that shirt doesn't look so great. Maybe you should wear the other one."
Well, that's a sad part because I cannot really contribute. I kind of I'm used to his style, his cowboy style. He likes vests. He likes,
I have a question about that, Anya.
uh-huh.
Because, yeah, I mean, I do appreciate Robert's sense of style with the whole cowboy, because obviously, guys, you're in that part of the Midwest. Why don't you wear cowboy boots?
I do. I have cowboy boots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, Robert,
Hmm?
can you bring my cowboy boots for Gino to see so he believes me that I have cowboy boots?
Where are they?
Well, you know where they are.
Are they in the closet pile or the door
Pile.
pile?
Door pile. Yeah, so I can't really tell him because I can only tell by quality. Like if I'm looking at the shirt or sweater or something, I say, that feels cheap. Don't get that.
Feels cheap.
Well, can't you tell? Like when you're touching certain, when you touch certain items, can't you guys tell that it's like?
Usually if I'm touching someone of the opposite sex, I'm not really focused on the clothing, and I don't mean that in like a dirty sort of way where everyone gets their mind out of the gutter. I just mean when I'm having a woman say give me a sighted guide, I'm not usually focused on that.
Yeah.
So I will, like, if the shirt though does feel like really soft, I'll go, I like your shirt feels like it's a nice shirt, but I've never gone, hey Tracy, man, your shirt feels cheap. I tell you what. No, never done that.
No, that's when you're at the store, when you're buying stuff at the store, you're touching a bunch of sweaters and shirts and whatever on a rack, and then you're like, oh no, not that one. Like,
no, I've never done that.
okay, don't you choose clothes by feel at all? Excuse me.
Kind of. I would say, like, I don't like the texture of wool. I don't like wearing the texture of wool. I don't like it. So if someone gives me a texture of that, I'll go, no, I don't want that.
Right.
But generally speaking, no. If someone goes, oh, that's a good color on you, I'll kind of deal. Unless it's a texture I can't stand, I'll kind of just deal with it.
No, for me, it has to be texture and somebody's color confirmation, and the way it looks on me. Yeah, but I do have to like the texture, for sure.
Yeah, no, that I understand. If it's a texture I don't like, I won't want it. But
Yeah.
I haven't ran into that usually very often. What about you, Becca?
I'm very when it comes to my food and my clothes, it's all about what it feels like to me, more so than what it looks like. You know what I mean? I like my clothes to be loose fitting, not tight.
Right.
I like lighter fabrics, not heavy duty fabrics. I don't like the stretchy fabrics. I like fabrics that just fit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I am kind of color, like I do have some favorite colors. Like I like lighter colors like yellow and pink and sky blue and like light green and yellow and white and stuff like that. I prefer those to darker colors. But I'm way more about what my clothes feel like than what they look like, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. For
Anya,
different-
has Robert been able to bring over the cowboy boots?
Yeah, Robert, did you bring my cowboy boots?
Yeah, it's on the bottom.
Gina, can you see them? That's my cowboy boots.
Gino, can you verify that she has cowboy boots?
I cannot.
Robert, show Gino.
I think she's lying.
He can see.
And Robert, did you display them for the camera?
Yeah, he's
Ooh.
showed.
It's very nice. They look almost like leopard print.
Oh,
Yeah.
you see the boots, not the box?
No.
Those were the boots. They looked almost like leopard print boots.
I don't know.
Leopard
Can I
print.
ask a
Oh,
question?
cool.
Anya,
Yes, go ahead.
since Robert's into the whole cowboy thing, does Robert drink Bush beer?
Robert, do you drink Bush beer?
Oh, it's not my favorite.
It's not his favorite.
But he will drink it.
But would you drink it?
Probably, yeah. Why?
Because according to Bush, cowboys drink Bush beer. That's what they said in their advertising.
He says, well, maybe if you had to, you don't have to repeat everything to you. Yeah, because according to Bush advertisement, that's what cowboys drink. He says. I don't drink much of beer, but it's kind of good to hear you guys' perspective and to know that everybody has their own preference of choosing clothes and strategies to pick and all that stuff. Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and make sure that I will say, Gino, if you want a good short, make sure you get what Becca said earlier and put that as one of the shorts. Not that I want to tell you how to do your job, but
Oh yeah,
that'll get some people viewing.
all out of words.
Okay, well, I think we're at the end of the show, right, guys?
Yeah, I
Yes,
believe
we
so.
are.
So, thank you for joining us today for an exciting episode of The Blind View, ladies and gentlemen. Please be sure you are subscribed to us here on Rumble, and be sure to like, share, and tell your friends about us. Peace out, y'all. That's a wrap. Join us again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye,
Cheers.
everybody.
Thank you for watching Becca's World. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.